Hey everybody, welcome into my channel. If this is our first time meeting, my name is Shary. My channel is Black Dog Adventures, and I'm so happy to have you with me today. On this channel, we do adventure videos in our Tacoma Pro. We do camping videos in our 2022 Rockwood Geo Pro. I do some cooking and just whatever other lifestyle things happen to come about. There's no real schedule to my channel, and I don't have any plans of changing that anytime soon. But today we are making a really easy weekday meatless meal, and it's out of this the Weekday Vegetarians cookbook. It's called Crunchy Cheesy Bean Bake, and I'll tell you just a little bit about it. The author said, and the author is Jenny Rosenstrach. She's a bestseller of Dinner, the Playbook, and Dinner, a Love Story. So I don't have those, but you may be familiar with them. She says there's two things going on with this 30-minute dinner that will probably appeal to kids. Number one, it's crunchy, and number two, it's cheesy. I love how those melty mozzarella rounds recall a basic baked chicken parm, but there's not an abundance of obscene amount of cheese. The recipe as written makes enough for 4 medium portions. Pair it with a simple salad or some toasty bread, crunchy bread, and you have a very nice meal. You could probably make this vegan. Well, you could make it vegan if you just omit the mozzarella and the Parmesan cheese. Everything else in here would be vegan. So let me tell you what the ingredients in here are. I've got everything behind me. Right here we have olive oil. We're going to put in 6 tablespoons of olive oil. I forgot to get my onion out, so I'm going to be chopping up half of a yellow onion. Got my garlic, 2 cloves of garlic, minced or chopped. Pinch of red pepper flakes, kosher salt to taste, which we have here, black pepper to taste, tomato paste. I've got this, I use the organic, the Cento tomato paste, 3 cups of cooked white cannellini beans. My beans were dry, so I soaked them. It was 8 ounces of beans. Dry beans yields 3 cups of cooked beans. So I cooked these in my 3-quart Instant Pot this morning on high for 15 minutes, and they're perfectly fine. They're cooked, ready to go in the recipe. 1 cup of panko breadcrumbs, which I have already seasoned here. I'll add a little more seasoning to them. Some fresh grated Parmesan cheese. Calls for 3 fresh thyme sprigs, which I don't have. And then 5 thin slices of mozzarella cheese, about 3 ounces. This is 16 ounces, so it's far more than we need, but I can make a nice caprese or something with the leftovers. So anyway, that's the rundown on the ingredients. That's the name of the recipe, Crunchy Cheesy Bean Bake, and it's just a quick, easy weeknight meatless meal. It says to cook it in a deep, large oven-safe skillet. So I'm going to be using my 3.5 quart Le Creuset to cook this in today. So that's what we're going to be cooking today. And if you want to see what's going to go into this and you want to see this recipe come together, stick around. We'll get started. All right, we're gonna be preparing all our ingredients, getting them ready to go into our skillet. So the first thing I'm gonna do is chop a medium yellow onion. We're just gonna dice it up. If you've watched any of my other cooking videos, you'll see how I like to prepare my garlic. To me, it's just easier than chopping. Not that I don't mind chopping it, but this is just easier. So my dog Max I have my sliding glass door open to the backyard, which is just to my left a few feet. And so I've got it's all wide open. But he went, looked out the door, and then ran behind me to his dog door in the laundry room and went out his dog door. So I'm not sure what that was all about, but I thought that was pretty funny. Hope you've all had a good week so far, having a nice week despite everything going on in the world. We're not going to talk about that here on this channel, that's for sure. We'll talk all things camping, fishing, cooking, crafting, gardening, gadgets, all that kind of stuff, but we're not going to talk politics. So the way I like to do my garlic is I like to take this little zester and I just go like this because it's so easy, so much faster than chopping it. The only problem is sometimes you get a little close and you can kind of get your finger a little bit here and there. But that's okay. Such is the cooking world, right? I don't know what I'm going to serve with this. I have a little bit of leftover salad. It's in the outside fridge in the garage, and I'm not sure if it's still real great. It's just a basic green salad that I made a couple days ago, so I'll check that, and if it looks good, we'll do that with our meal, and if it doesn't, we'll think of something else. Maybe just some cut up fruit or something. Okay. I'm going to grate up a little bit of Parmesan cheese because it says to add it to the panko. And I've already got my panko seasoned. I've had it seasoned in here for a while. Garlic, granulated garlic, salt, pepper. I don't remember. I seasoned it for another recipe. But we'll go ahead and just grate some of this and add it to that. And then you mix it with some olive oil. And then this will go on the top. So it's kind of a little bit thicker grade of cheese, but that's okay. Like I said, you could totally make this vegan if you wanted to not put in the Parmesan cheese or the fresh mozzarella cheese too. Totally could do that. I think that's probably enough, probably more than I need, but anywho, you guys have watched me cook, you know how I cook. It's sort of just random. I follow recipes to a point, but then there's a great majority of it is just sort of my own invention as well. So I'll always give you the basic recipe, but that doesn't mean that mine is followed to the letter, because chances are it probably isn't. We're going to heat 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Just eyeballing, that's about 3 tablespoons of olive oil. We'll let that warm up, and then we're going to put in our onions. I'm going to wait on the garlic just a few minutes because I don't want it to burn. So we'll go in next with the red pepper flakes. I'm going to cook our onions about 3 minutes till they get translucent. We can go ahead and add in, it says a pinch of red pepper flakes. So I'm just going to sort of shake that in. About a pinch. I'm going to add just a little pinch of salt, and you salt and pepper to taste, so you can always adjust this once you get it all together and add more seasoning if needed. I'm going to flip the script here on the recipe and add in the tomato paste before I do the garlic, just so it gives the tomato paste a little bit more time to cook without burning the garlic. So this is a very healthy amount, 1 tablespoon. I think that's good enough. Smush it around until all the onions get pink. Cook off some of that raw tomato paste. If you guys haven't gotten tomato paste in the tubes, it's a game changer. You know, I remember I grew up with my mom, you know, she always had the cans, and it was always seemed like such a waste because you would open the can of tomato paste, but it seemed like you never really needed to use that whole thing. and so many times it would go to waste. And so once I discovered the tomato paste in a tube, game changer right there, game changer. Let's go ahead and add in our garlic. We've talked about this before. Let your garlic cook till you can smell it. You don't want to burn your garlic, and garlic burns very quickly. All right, now we're going to add in, it calls for a 14.5 ounce can of diced tomatoes. I have a 15 ounce can of roasted diced tomatoes. So a skosh over, but that's okay. It's going to be just fine. 1 tablespoon of dried oregano leaves. We're going to put in our 3 cups of beans that were dry, and I cooked them in my 3-quart Instant Pot with a cup of water for 15 minutes. So we're reheating our bean mixture while we are waiting for the oven to come up to 400 degrees. And in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and add our 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil to our panko seasoning. And what's this called? And Parmesan, shredded Parmesan cheese mix. So I'm just going to pour in a little bit at a time. I'm not going to really measure. I'm just going to kind of eyeball. That's probably about a tablespoon. But we'll know because it's going to be kind of all shiny and glistening when it's ready to top our pan. Yeah, a little bit more. About 2 tablespoons maybe. And I don't know if in the recipe if they used the like already to go parm. I used fresh parm, so that might soak up a little differently, but it's coming together and it's gonna really be nice. It smells really good. Can't wait to try this. One more little bit, and I think that's going to be probably plenty. I'm going to turn my stove off because I've got my beans reheated. I don't want them to burn. Again, this is the crunchy cheesy bake out of the Weekday Vegetarian Cookbook that I will link below for you. That's looking good. Smells good. All right, so now we got our beans all nice and warmed through. Not bubbling hot because I didn't want to put everything on earlier, if you remember, since I made it a little bit ahead of time. But now we're going to get there goes our oven. We're going to get our mozzarella on here. Fresh mozzarella. And now we've got our topping of our panko and Parmesan, and I'm just going to give it a sprinkle over the whole thing. Pop this in the oven. All right, you guys, let's give this a little taste test. See what we think. It's very hot. Yep, that's a definite must-do recipe, you guys. Bon appetit. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.